Hello, friends, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Authenticity with Preetha, where I take the opportunity to invite you and share some of the wisdom I gain from talking to people when we work on the journey of reaching our authentic selves, one conversation at a time. I am an authenticity life coach, and I love to share this with you because I feel I learn so much more in the process from the wisdom of all of you. So, as you know, we have been talking about discomfort this month in August, and the last two episodes focused on what it looks like and acknowledging it. This episode, I want to touch back on the example I brought up in the first episode in the series, was about the discomfort that I felt about having a conversation with a dermatologist because of a reaction that I had after taking the second shingles vaccine. Now, without getting into the details of what happened, etc., suffices to say it took me 2 weeks to acknowledge to myself that this patch on my face that had appeared, or a scar that was gradually growing, was the result of something deeper that I wasn't giving much thought to. So my mind went to all kinds of places, and I was in a very uncomfortable spot for some time. But it took me about a couple of weeks to understand, acknowledge, and realize that I could either be sitting with this dissonance of making the choice of going and talking to the dermatologist versus imagining the worst. So discomfort does not even need a rescue immediately. It just needs a witness to acknowledge, and that best witness is you, to tell yourself that yes, this is uncomfortable. Yes, I am stressed, but what can I do? What am I not acknowledging? What am I living in denial of, and why? So, I remember standing in front of the mirror after 3.5 weeks of this, and it continued. It just would, the scar would come and go, and telling myself that, at this point in time, I don't care what the tests tell me. I just want to get better. And the moment I said this out loud, I made the appointment the next day. So sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to just stay, is to sit with it, is to acknowledge it, is to invite that discomfort and know that I got this. Or even tell the discomfort that, you know what, you're not the boss of me. You don't rule my thoughts. I decide what I do and what I can learn from this moment. So understanding that and acknowledging that is so very important. Now, this is a very personal example, but sometimes when, and I touched upon this in the previous episode, is sometimes we have to have conversations that are uncomfortable. We have to sit with the discomfort of knowing that we have been avoiding a conversation for too long, whether it's telling our child that they're making a bad choice, or telling our spouse that there are some things you want different, or telling a client or a customer in a business setting that you are not appreciating a certain line of work. Now, with family boundaries, it becomes very hard because there are cultural expectations, there are personal expectations, and that is why we let that discomfort sit. And we live it, like I said in that other episode, it's like a pebble in the shoe. We just stay with it. But in professional settings, sometimes the stakes become higher that, are you going to lose face? Certain cultures, face loss is a huge thing. And that can come back and bite you. And so would we rather live with the discomfort and just keep quiet about the overload of tasks from our peers or bosses, or actually look that discomfort in the eye and say, this is hard for me. This is not comfortable. The fact that I'm not able to say this is uncomfortable. And I will come back to this, friends. The tension or the choice or the discomfort is not the problem. The problem is you not addressing it or you not acknowledging it. And that is why, if you remember, we had talked about the tension or the discomfort more as a portal than as a source of panic. It is a portal that takes you from a place of who you are with all of the pebbles in your shoes, or a place you want to be, who wants to enjoy a lovely hike. So stay with it, acknowledge it, invite it as a guest, look at it in the eye, and then decide, what is the bravest thing you will do today to address this issue? Maybe the bravest thing you will do is even acknowledge it. And then tomorrow you will feel a little bit braver and have that hard conversation. So that's where I am going to end here, friends, is look at the boundaries you have set for yourself when it comes to accepting this discomfort. How much have you stretched yourself and lived with it? And what are you learning from it? And when is a good time to let this go so you can grow further? So sitting with discomfort before hitting send or an emotional text or an email and acknowledging it is choosing to pause over the reaction. And then finally hitting send, knowing this is the right choice, is when we start to look at discomfort with in the eye, and knowing that we can rise above ourselves and reach one step closer to our authentic self. Thank you for listening in. Until next time, this is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity. Subscribe on Spotify or Apple or anywhere else you listen to your podcasts, and I promise to share something mindful and interesting every week. Thank you so much.